All right, here we are. We're back. We have a good friend of mine, Doc Dixon, a Fool Us winner, an all-around great guy. He's also an amazing comedy magician. And the lines and the stuff that this guy comes up with, not only in magic, but I'm talking about just the stuff that comes off the top of his head. The dude is funny. I love every time being around him. Every time I get on the phone with him, he has to hang up the phone call because I don't want to get off the phone with him. I'm having a blast. But everybody, it's Doc Dixon. Woo!
Woohoo!
What's up, Doc?
I feel so much pressure now.
No.
You have to be funny.
Well, you are funny. It's natural to you, man. You don't have to work at it at all.
And you got it wrong. It's not Doc Dixon Fool Us winner. It's fellow Fool Us winner.
That sounds
There
good,
you
doesn't
go.
it? That just gave me goosebumps. Good gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, isn't it?
It is. It really is. So, as a Fool Us winner, any behind the scenes stories or experiences you want to share with us? I did a full episode on our venture there, even that, we had a day off before and after our performance that we could go explore the city, and we did. Took my girls around and did that, but that was rare. So how was your experience with the whole Fool Us thing?
Well, I went out in March of 2019. It just occurs to me, I don't know if my intro is true anymore, because my intro was, this is the smallest trick ever to appear on the Fool Us stage. I don't know.
Just a guy with $50 might have been smaller.
Maybe, but the prediction was big. That's my only, I got a bit of a reach.
That's
We
it.
should have put it on a 3x5 card.
Well, the other thing is, Penn says that, I can't believe you came out here only with a $50. Dude, I brought like 45 $50 with me just in case I lost 44 of them. I mean, I was that paranoid because I don't know if I can get a $50 in Vegas.
Set of shells. I went out there. The trick I did involved cracking a walnut at the end, and I went out there with a 2-3 pound bag of walnuts. I was the size of a shoebox, however much that weighs, because I didn't want to have to rely on finding a store that sold walnuts.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so I'm going through the security, and they're in my carry-on, and guys like, I'm gonna have to look at those. And I don't know what it was. I mean, it was a bag of walnuts, but it delayed me about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Wow.
That was more than I did not expect that. That was a bit creepy. It's like, oh, and then, like you, blessed to be a fooler at the end of it, and it's a rather ecstatic feeling, because I know, I guess there's some guys that go into it thinking, okay, this is going to be a fooler. I didn't. I mean,
No.
Did you go into it with that way?
No, Natalie says stuff like she was confident of me and she knew I was going to win. But, man, no. And at some points, sometimes in my thinking about it, I was like, I have a 50-50 chance. They could say this or they could say that, or... I fooled when I took it to MAES and I showed all these big name magicians. I was fooling everybody. Everybody was thinking I was doing the old, the wobble. You probably know the wobble. That was in the 70s. Do you know the wobble?
Oh, yeah, when it doesn't spin.
That everybody thought I was doing the wobble, or they thought I was doing, using my thumb to feel some weird. No, it's a different method. It's something I came up with. And when I was fooling people, and I have a close-up version as well that I do in restaurants, that I could do right under people's nose. And they're the secretary, and they make a prediction. So my prediction says you get them all right except number 3. And they get them all right except for number 3. The prediction's written on the back, and they're doing check marks as 1X. And, I mean, I was doing it in the hospitality suite underneath, anybody, name a big person, name a big celebrity in magic. So I was, in my back of my mind, I was like, I fooled those guys. That's what gave me the confidence to send it to the tape to them to begin with. But, I mean, who am I? They're older than me. They've been in the business longer than me. Whatever research I've done, Teller obviously could have done the same research or knows the same people that could have given the same idea. How do you know? I've tried to tell people in the past, talk to a doctor and say, hey, why haven't you cured cancer? The doctor that's going to cure cancer is doing the same research you're doing or has access to the same research. That's how it's like to fool Penn and Teller. How the heck do I know what's going to fool them or not? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think that I think what helps, and I won't just say with them, but I think in general, what helps fool magicians is one. In your case, it's a fair, though it's an easy to understand effect. You know, it is an obscure effect. I could probably cite in my head maybe two or three things in all magic literature that relate to it. There's and not specifically what you're doing. That's why you said relate to it. You know, so there's that. And I think that helps. I think also what helps, like in the case of what I did, I up until the ending of my trick, the trick was going along the standard path of that routine.
Yeah.
And then I won't go over anyone who's listening hasn't seen it can go to Doc Dixon, go to my website docdixon.com, and the routine is linked there. But when I turned over the other two shells and the P's not there, well now the whole thing just took a left turn when everyone had gone right.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that helps, and also there's just no predicting it. I mean, I've seen stuff on there. There was a card guy on there, and just doing just exquisite work. And he did not only did he not fool them, but Penn just basically cited chapter and verse for the routine.
Yeah.
You know what book it was based on, and these guys are stage magicians. So.
And sometimes, even though Penn and Teller can't recreate it or can't do that trick, they can just say, hey, it's along that, it's very Slidini-esque. That's it. And they're like, yeah, but there was extra twists and turns there. Yeah, but it was Slidini-esque. We know what you did. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, some of it is, some of it. I think at that point, the performer, and this was big in my head when I was there. It just goes to the fact that yes, this is also this is not a competition with a show element. This is a show with a competition element.
Yeah.
One of the things I said to Mike, who's my close to magic consultant on it, I said, please, if I am busted, tell them to say this word. And it was so I knew, because I'd heard stories through the grapevine.
Yes.
People who've been on the show that totally muffed up that moment, who wouldn't own up to the fact that they didn't fool them. And so, then you have, you're not on TV now.
Yep.
And it just, the whole thing is, and you have a rep amongst that as, not playing well with others,
yeah.
which no one wants.
Well, also they gave us a speech downstairs, and you probably got the same one that just said, you're among the best just being here. Be happy just to get this TV credit, and however it goes, it's not about fooling them. It's about having fun. Go out there and have some fun. And
it really is, and,
right?
And one of my little personal credos in my life is don't be that guy.
Yep.
And it's about it's the show is the primary thing, not the competition aspect of it. It's fun. It was a very fun experience, very positive experience. I know with COVID and everything, you haven't had the chance to go back to be in the show yet, have you?
No. Tell me about that. I'm so excited. Tell me about that. How awesome was that?
It's swell. It's cool. The stage gracious, all about taking care of you, and just so friendly. I mean, like the whole experience. Everyone's so kind. Penn says we have one of our foolers in the audience tonight. So kind of a cool thing there. And then shortly before the ending, you're escorted back, and then Penn brings you. Penn introduces you, and I blogged about this on the site, my website, and says some very gracious things, and then afterwards you hang out in their monkey room. Which what they call the monkey room, which is their lounge where they greet people and all that. Now, when I was there, I'm going to screw up the guy's name. He is like a heavy metal / metal, whatever you call it, icon. Darn it, I can't think of his name. But like a buddy of mine, I was back there with my wife Bethany and a very close friend, Joe Cursillo. And Joe immediately knew who the guy was. Kerry King.
Okay.
Kerry King is his name. And he goes by, pardon me, Kerry Bleeping King.
Okay.
And, he's there. And it was just a real cool experience just hanging and chatting. I will tell you, though, at least for me, I can't speak for everyone else, it was very slightly anticlimactic.
Oh, no.
No, I don't mean it in a bad way. No. I mean, because the words, when Penn says, you fooled us. Whoa! What a rush!
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that,
Yeah.
particularly, I can speak for myself, I did not expect to hear those words.
Yeah.
So, just really, just overjoyed and ecstatic afterwards. And so the experience, that was the reward.
Well,
Now being in the show, awesomely cool, fun, and it's just a great show.
Were they as warm and receptive to you during that performance as they were during the night of? Because when they do those taping of those shows, I mean, those audiences are on fire. They're ready to laugh and have fun. Were they like that on just a regular night of Penn and Teller as well?
Yeah, they were a great audience. I did the routine I did on the show with them. I didn't do it with them though, because you don't do Penn and Teller aren't on stage for that. I think they're getting ready to do the meet and greet afterwards. But I brought up, I asked someone to come up from the audience to play the roles of Penn and Teller, and I said to the guy, as a husband and wife, I said to the man, you will be Teller, which means you understand what that means, and he said, yes, I do, and then I looked at him disapprovingly. And then I turned to the woman and I said, and you'll be Penn, so your job is to be very tall and occasionally cuss on basic cable. And, did the routine, and, that was it. And then Penn comes out and he says, you bleepity bleep, you fooled us.
Wow.
It's like you would expect from Penn, a very fun, affable, kind of thing. And he hands you the trophy, and you walk off stage.
Wow, that's great.
I don't know if they're going to handle that, exactly how they'll handle it this time. Frankly, I don't know if they handled that way previous to that. Is my one experience there, but
well,
it was fun. When I say it was anticlimactic, I'm not saying it wasn't a whole lot of fun. It was, but the moment of winning it,
yeah,
no,
it's hard to top that.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
See, the night that I won, they gave me my trophy right when I got off stage. They took the one that falls. That only goes as far as the curtain, and then it gets hoisted back up.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Okay. But then they gave me one that was in a box, and they said, this is your trophy. We're sick of mailing them all over the world. They're getting broken in storage, and people aren't receiving them, so we're just going to give it to you. So now I've been in the dungeon in the basement hanging out with 5 other performers that night, all night long, and they know that I had nothing but a $50 and a cell phone in my pocket, I was, texting my wife and checking my email. So if I leave with this big box that's rectangular shaped, that's trophy sized, and I have to walk by the Starbucks or everybody's hanging out afterwards. So I had the production lady carry it to my hotel room, and, we walked, down the hall together. But I was scared because of that $250,000. If I say anything that I won, I didn't want to give off any hints or clues or anything that I won. I was scared to death.
Sure, yeah.
And then trying to get it home, I'm telling the ticket agents, hey, look, this is not a bomb. It's not anything. If I have to buy another seat for this, I am. But it's not going underneath the bus. It's not going underneath the airplane. It is getting a seat beside me.
Now, see, when I got mine there, I went over, this would have been September of 2019. I took it to FedEx.
Oh, they gave it to you there?
Yeah, they gave it to me there. Yeah,
oh, wow, okay.
When I performed with them in the show. So you were much more discreet than I was, because after the show ends, of course, I didn't have a non-disclosure agreement anymore in force, because my episode had aired and I just performed in the show. So what I did was my lifelong goal to continually embarrass my wife. I took the trophy and I shoved it in the front of the bottom of the trophy in my pants like it was a rodeo belt buckle. And I'm walking around the casino that way. Everyone's like, "Stop it! Stop!" Like, no.
Heck, you earned that thing, man.
You
earned it. Daggone. My little girl gives me a hard time. I'll go in my room and I'll like pretend I'm wiping off dust, totally letting her see me. And she's like, "Dad, your head's getting way too big. I wish you'd have never won that thing. Your head's getting way too big, Dad." So she gives me a hard time.
My 9-year-old, well, he was 8 then. He says to me when I got the trophy, he goes, he's the sweetest little boy. He's very polite, very nice, smart kid. He says to me, "Daddy, can I have that when you're gone?"
Oh.
I'm like, my eyes are kind of big. I go, "Oh, you mean when Daddy goes on road trips? Stuff like that?" And my wife's standing behind her. She starts shaking her head. And he says, "No." All of a sudden, he's like, he's children of the corn.